Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram Om. 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 Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Ram. Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram Om. 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 Om Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. A couple of days back, one of the devotees sent an email because probably during the sharing the thoughts, a mention was made that it looks as if we have not even started the journey. It is not that we have not started the journey. What is meant is only an inward journey. We have been preparing ourselves, equipping ourselves with so many things, but ultimately the fruition of it comes only when we try to feel His presence. We become aware of His presence. So whatever we have done, it will not go in vain. Probably now Papa is facilitating for us to not to become complacent. We should keep up the same tempo. And the real journey, gathering all details, looking at the inspiring life and mission of Mahatmas, trying to memorize whatever they have, the revelations they brought it out, all those things we are doing. But the real journey, of identifying His presence within us, has it taken place? Each one only knows. So that is what is meant. It is not to discourage anybody, not to... This should be very, very clear to us. We should never get dispirited, dejected. Whatever we do, because everything is prompted by Him only. If we can term it as a flowing process, it is also willed by Him. Probably the equipment is not ready, or He may have His own reasons why He is delaying it. But now He is prompting us to see, trigger the tempo. During our school days, you remember when we go for the PT class, whether it is high jump or pole vault or long jump, we try to do, the PT instructor or teacher will put a mark. We try to reach that mark. When we have reached that mark, he will not keep quiet. He will again put the mark higher than that or longer than that. That means we have to put ourselves in the process. So like that, Papa is now putting us on that process of taking a bigger leap. Anyhow, now coming back again, whatever the intellect may try to absorb, it has got its own limitations. So bhakti is the safest, no doubt about it. Bhakti should combine with jnana. Uddhava says, to Uddhava, Lord says, therefore, Uddhava, abandoning all reliance on scriptural injunctions and prohibitions, the ways of work and renunciation, surrender your entire being, body, mind and soul to me, the all-comprehending and all-comprehensive being, the essence within all embodied beings, the spirit. We are not surrendering to outside, we are surrendering to the spirit embodied within, to the power which makes us to utter these words, which is seated within. By that alone you will attain liberation. My true devotees desire nothing, O Uddhava, not even the state of an emperor, nor that of Brahma, nor heaven, nor the attainment of yogic powers, nor even liberation. Their only hope, their only goal is to attain me. Such devotees are supremely dear to me, O Uddhava. They are dearer to me than my own self. I am always following the footsteps of such sages so that all the worlds within me may get purified. Wonderful word, touching. I am always following the footsteps of such Bhaktottamas, sages, so that all the worlds within me may get purified by the dust of their holy feet. With universal love filling their hearts, they have no wealth other than me, O Uddhava. Though my devotees may be under the domination of the senses at the start of their spiritual life, yet with the growth of devotion, they will be able to overcome them. Just as the flaming fire reduces any type of fuel to ashes, so devotion to me destroys all the sins that might have been an obstruction to their growth. And the next line is very, very important. No yoga, nor philosophy, nor karma, nor Vedic study, nor austerity, nor renunciation has the power to attract me as does intense bhakti. Nor yoga, nor philosophy, nor karma, nor Vedic studies, nor austerity, nor renunciation has the power to attract me as does intense bhakti. And what is bhakti? Bhakti is generated by recital of my name, steadiness in my worship, diligence in the service of my devotees, remembrance of my presence at all times, and utilization of all the senses in my service are the methods of generating bhakti. This at all times, we have not applied our mind. We go to our puja room every day. If we don't go, we find something is missing in our routine. We go to the temples. We get joy. For hours together we stand in the queue to have his glimpse of a few minutes. In every temple, this is the state. People travel from a long distance and then they stand in the queue to have a glimpse. So bhakti is there in some form. And why we have not been able to sustain? Here is the answer. Remembrance of my presence at all times and utilization of the senses in my service. So as soon as we leave the temple, we leave the place of worship, we leave the ashram. Our previous preoccupation, they can't hear. They can hear? Yes. There's some problem with the Wi-Fi, okay. Again, Bhakti, he explains, O Uddhava, the senses have been given with a special objective, and that is to worship me, the divine, in all things. The hands are to be used to offer worship to me in the form of service to all creatures, the eyes to discover my beauty in all creation, the nose to smell my perfume in all things, the ears to hear the sanctifying accounts of my glories, and the tongue to taste the divinity in all food, and to extol me through speech, song and hymns. All of creation provides both the method and the means for my glorification, leading to self-fulfillment. So bhakti is elaborately discussed. Papa also makes a mention about bhakti. Papa says bhakti is the easiest, quickest, most natural method for God realization. Is it the best suited method for Kali Yuga? Papa, bhakti is the easiest and the quickest path. Bhakti is the easiest and the quickest. This is so because bhakti means love for God. Love is natural with us. We have love from our very birth. First we learn our love, we learn to love our mother. Loving the mother need not be taught to the child. Loving the mother need not be taught to the child. It is not to go to school to learn the art of loving. All children love the sweet company of their mother and are very fond of her. This is the most natural way. When the child grows up, it serves the mother and in her service finds joy. If it is far away from the mother, it remembers her often and feels her presence by such remembrance. So from the very beginning, God has taught us how to love so naturally. Why can we not turn this love towards the giver of it? God gave us this human birth. Parents are the instrumental causes. Why do we say instrumental causes? They are also the effects of their parents. No? So they can't be the original cause. We are the effects of our parents, okay. For argument's sake we can say. But then we know that our parents are also the effects of their parents' cause. So like that, where from it starts. Then Bhagavad Gita clearly explains to us that it is from him it starts. Bijam mam sarva bhutanam. I am the eternal seed. So God gave us this human birth. And then the subtle body, I have got gross body, subtle body, the physical body, the mental and body, mind, intellect complex. That has been given according to my previous karma, previous vasanas. So this equipment has been given, but life is given by God. So along with that life, we now find that we have not learned anything, the natural tendency to love our mother, which is also given by him. So Papa is reminding us, when you find, at that time we did not realize. When we go to a spiritual preceptor, he makes us understand that this love is also given by him, whose nature is love. God stands for love. But unfortunately, we started directing it towards sense objects. So here Papa is asking, why can we not turn this love toward the giver of it, God? Bhakti is love and devotion to God. Instead of making ephemeral things the objects of our love, we have only to have God as the object of it. This is called Bhakti. If you follow other yogas, you have to practice them in order to create this condition within you, namely love for union with God. In the case of Bhakti, this condition is already there and you have only to direct it to Him. And this is the most natural path. You know how much a miser loves money. It's a great joy for him to think of it, to see it and to handle it. If he only turns that love towards God, he can attain God easily because the love and intensity of it are already there. Only the object is to be changed. The bhakti path is also the quickest because the other yogas are difficult to practice and take much longer time, while bhakti takes you straight to your eternal beloved. Another question asked is if bhakti is the best suited for Kali Yuga, Ramdas can boldly say that this is the best suited yoga not only for Kali Yuga but for all yugas, because this quality of love is ingrained in all human hearts from their very childhood in all yogas. The only thing necessary is that we must realize the futility of worldly life and our attachment to things which are perishable and which cause our rebirth from life to life, only to undergo the same sufferings, misery, sorrow and anxieties which never end. If you want to attain liberation, if you want to free yourself from the bondage of rebirth and karma, your heart must turn to God. Through vichara you discriminate the real from the unreal and know that the indwelling Atman alone is real. How he combines jnana and bhakti, Think about it. Then what you have to do is only to change over from the world to God. Now the heart takes up the task and you have to make the discriminative faculty quiet. The latter has done its work and is no more to interfere with the heart. The floodgates of your heart open, pouring love and devotion to God. Give all the affection and adoration of your heart to Him, and merging yourself in Him, know you are He. See Him within you and everywhere about you, and enjoy immortal peace and bliss. This is necessary. Probably Papa thought, under the word bhakti, we have formed so many concepts. So the harmonious blend of bhakti and jnana has been brought out. That is why in Papa's approach the dryness is not there. Though he gives stress for inward journey, elaborately he has discussed about Atman, Brahman, Sarvam Kalvidam Brahma. Often he quotes. And in one of the articles he mentioned about the spiritual journey itself, Bhakti is the root, Vairagya is the trunk, Jnana is the flower, Parabhakti is the fruit. Starting from Bhakti to Parabhakti. In between, the role of dispassion, Vairagya is there, and the role of Jnanapat is also there. Then the real Bhakti. It need not necessarily be attached to a particular form. It can also be attached to a particular form. And at the same time, in Parabhakti state, we have been promised that we will be able to feel His presence everywhere.
Swamiji, Swamiji, can you please, Bhakti, Parabhakti, அது ரெண்டுத்துக்கும் can you difference? எப்படி புரிஞ்சுக்கிறது?
பராபக்தின்னு சொன்னா என்ன சொல்லிருக்கார்? Parabhakti has been detailed explanation. I'll give you. The same book he has done. Feeling the whole universe, including us, pervaded by Him is the fruit. That is Parabhakti. So devotion, we start with the devotion to God. How do we develop the devotion? When we start thinking that He has given us everything. That is why He asks us to go to the source of all sources. At the moment, the bhakti practiced by us, why it has not been able to make us move towards Him? Though it gives us joy at the time of chanting or bhajan. So that means the real love has not been developed. And for real love, He always insists that if we go back to our origin, He has given me everything. Right from my life, the life force, He gave me a human birth, He provided and a sense of individuality, and He has been providing everything for its sustenance through His own creations, namely Mother Nature and society. Should I not remember Him? When I go deep into all these, I develop love and gratitude towards Him. Bhakti. So here the bhakti is, our love towards Him wells up in our heart. And we revere Him because He is seated within us and making us to feel that we are an individual. He is presiding over all the activities of my senses. He is articulating, He is making my mind and intellect to become active. So many things, I keep on thinking about it, so that my love towards Him, my gratitude towards Him slowly wells up. But it is limited to me. Parabhakti is the state where we see Him everywhere. Not only in my mind, not only within me, but also I see Him everywhere. However much we discuss now, it is still a theory because that we have not tasted. It is an outcome of our ultimate spiritual journey. So let us believe the words of the masters and then move towards it. We have fair idea about bhakti, devotion. To remember Him, the Vidhata, the great giver, the great provider. Somehow, we are not used to it. We go to the temple and come back. When you come to ashram, we do chanting, we attend bhajans, everything is there. But the real bhakti for Him, who is seated within me, has it touched and sprouted, only that individual will know. And if he starts feeling it, it will be reflected in all his actions. First and foremost, the thing will be, he will be samatvam yoga muchade. He will be, the equanimity will be kept up. Because he will always know that everything happens only by his will. So we now try to, but at the same time we don't have to feel desperated, because we know, yes, now when Papa says, when I started loving my mother, when I see children, children, how they are so much close to their mother, we can observe that, then we know that it has not been taught to us. Nobody instructed us to love our mother. So along with the human birth, I also brought this love. But unfortunately, as I start expanding at the physical level and the mental level, I was slowly, unknowingly shifting this love to the sense objects, not to the giver. Though I go to the puja room every day, even when I was a child, before going to school, after taking bath, we go to the puja room, and with whatever devotion we have, we pray to him, we take the prasadam, and then go to school and come back. Whenever any festivities are there, mother or father, they do puja, the slogas will be, bhajans will be there. But never it has occurred to me that the love I came with, the human birth was given to me by him. Along with that, he also gave me love. I started thinking my life only from my level. With the result, I became unaware of the love that he gave me right from day one. So after so many kicks and knocks, when suddenly God willed that I should get in touch with a spiritual preceptor, that guru tells me that God is love. God gave you a human birth. Along with that, he gave you love. But you have been giving that love to all the sense objects, excepting to God. Now you try to turn your attention towards him.
Thank you, Swamiji.
Swamiji, I have a question.
Tell me.
Please. Can you please repeat that, what you just said, that I forgot about that I already came with this love.
Yeah.
Because, please, thank you.
Yes, correct. I know, previously I was thinking, my parents gave me this life, the sense of individuality. Suddenly when I realized that they are also the effects of their cause, namely their parents. So they are the instrumental cause. Because the original life principle, it has not started from my parents, because they are also having life. So their body, mind, intellect was given to them by their parents. Similarly, when we go back, we don't reach beyond 2 or 3 generations, and then we get lost. So we go to the Shastras and find out. So there Lord Krishna says, I am the eternal seed of everything. 2-3 days back we were quoting about 6 or 7 shlokas from Bhagavad Gita, asserting that he is the Aham Bija Pada Pida. I am the seed-giving father in everybody. So that becomes clear. Now today Papa also reminds us that when I started loving my mother, I that time I did not realize, but now I realize I was not taught. I was not asked to love my mother. It was spontaneous. So God, who is love, when he gave me this human birth, along with that the love also came. But because I was unaware, he made it unaware because of my Karana Sharira. There are 3 Shariras, according to Vedanta, there are 3 bodies. causal body, subtle body, and gross body. Causal body is the ajnana. Ajnana means becoming unaware of his presence. That is the moola karanam. That is the fundamental reason for this. So because of this ajnana, I was unaware of the love he gave or the love that he is. I started giving the love which he gave me to all the sense objects. Sense objects are perceived, known, indulged in through my sense objects, sense organs. God gave me sense organs, and each sense organ identified its respective sense objects. Some of the sense objects I developed likeness, some dislike, something which I wanted, something which I don't want. But all the time, whatever I wanted, I gave that love to that sense object. In all these processes, I forgot to love the giver who gave me this. Finally, when God decided that the time has come for us to know this, He arranges beautifully to get in touch with a spiritual preceptor, either who is in the form or after dropping the body through his teachings. That is why even today many continue to inspire even after dropping their body. So when we come in contact with the spiritual preceptor or guru or Mahatma, suddenly we have been told that you owe your origin to him and he is love. Why he is called love? He is giving this to everybody, there is no otherness for him. So love means absence of otherness. Okay. So because we have already trained our mind to give this love to the sense objects, we have totally forgotten about the Vidhata, the great giver, the great provider. So when the spiritual preceptor says, though we have heard his words, it has not been easy for us to practice. So then the Guru says, you take to chanting of God's name. You sing the glories of God. You try to be as much selfless as possible. You be straightforward, honest. You start moving from me to we. All these things when he says, that you will all touch and kindle and the love in me and slowly direct my love towards him, which is called bhakti. And when the process is facilitated to us and he makes us to fully get involved in it, the ultimate fruition is parabhakti. I find everybody has come because of the process of what I have gone through. So they all owe their origin to the God who is love. And which Papa names it as parabhakti. This is a very, very, very important stage. Papa gives lot of importance for this word. What is parabhakti and its relation to knowledge, Because it is side by side. Because after bhakti is the root, vairagya is the trunk, jnana is the flower, parabhakti is the fruit. So from jnana and parabhakti, it's difficult to understand. So he says, in the womb of bhakti, jnana or knowledge is conceived. After jnana is born, bhakti protects it. Just as the mother gives birth to the baby and looks after it. When you have got one-pointed devotion for God, you will eventually be merged in Him, the universal self, and know that he and you are but one. This is jnana or knowledge. Thereafter, this knowledge is protected by bhakti. So, through bhakti or devotion, you attain jnana, the knowledge of your identity with God or the universe itself. Bhakti again protects jnana. The bhakti that protects jnana is called parabhakti. Earlier, bhakti is a preparatory bhakti, marked by a continuous longing and restlessness for God. When you have his intense aspiration, you devote yourself entirely to him through prayer, repetition of his name, chanting his glories. Thereby your mind is purified, then you will have his vision. Ultimately, the screen of avidya that separates you from him will disappear and you will be one with him. That is why Shankaracharya says, he describes the Karana Sharira. How am I born as an individual? Anadi avidya anirvachya karanopadi ruchyate. This avidya, this ajnan, this veil of ignorance, of not knowing my real nature, it is anadi, it is beginningless. It cannot be explained. But that is the reason why, though everything was given to me by him, and even now he is with me in the form of life force, in the form of awareness, consciousness, in the form of intelligence, I am still unaware of him. It is because of this ajnana, this ignorance. So through bhakti, we try to develop a loving relationship with him. The sense of individuality becomes slowly aware the power by which it exists and then develops love for him. Knowing is knowledge, okay, but developing love for him is bhakti. And then when it is when the true love is experienced, suddenly we realize he is in all forms. And we also know that this sense of individuality exists because of the outer creation. Not only we treat it as the form of God, when we come down to the individual self, I exist only because of the creation outside. So my love towards creation, his creation, that also slowly get expanded. Because everything has been provided by him. Vegetables, pulses, air, earth, space, fire, everything, I have not brought anything. So then I owe everything to this creation also, not only to the Creator. So my love toward the Creator on one side, love toward the creation on the other side, yes. It becomes clearer and clearer. Previously I was attached to some objects. I had infatuation, I had desire, cravings, possessiveness. With this, I will be able to slowly get rid of it, but at the same not hate it, Because I love everything. He says, Ramdas never hated the world. He wanted only to learn the true secret of living in the world. In the old life, he had likes and dislikes. Then God said to him, I will teach you the secret of detachment and of loving all alike. The Lord seated in the heart taught Ramdas this lesson by making him repeat Ram Nam. He made Ramdas love everybody by seeing him in all. He is asking Ramdas to tell you householders that you need not renounce the world, that you can attain God by living in this world. With this object, Ramdas is now moving from place to place. Some no doubt go to the forest impelled by an inner urge when the call comes. That is because God wants to take them, wants to make them his special instruments for the service of humanity. If you come to the ashram, you will see a big household. There are many adults, children, cows, calves, lambs, fields, cottages. How can you say that Ramdas has renounced the world? In fact, how can you renounce the world which is nothing but God himself? Then whom will you give up? You have to attain the universal vision and accept everything, not merely a part, but the whole humanity as the very manifestation of God. True renunciation is internal. Renounce the ego sense, which makes you see diversities and subjects you to sway away from dandvas, likes and dislikes, good and evil, pleasure and pain. You must transcend all these pairs of aspects. The disease is within and not without. Remove it by praying to God for His grace, which will make you remember Him constantly. When the internal melody is cured, when the ego sense is eradicated, you will behold Him everywhere. Bhakti is the root, Vairagya is the trunk, Jnana is the flower, Parabhakti is the fruit. From the root to fruit. So every time when we repeat Ram Nam, Papa is now giving us all that is to be kept in our mind. At the time of repeating, it may not be possible to remember. But during the pause moments when we keep on thinking about it, our Nama chanting will become effective. We are chanting the name of one who is within us.
Kindly mute the audio, please.
We are chanting the name of one who is within us, who is making me to chant, who is love. Who has given me a field to know Him. I have been so far using that love for certain objects, forgetting about the purpose for which it was given. He brought sugarcane, He brought bitter gourd. He brought tamarind tree, So tamarind tastes sour, bitter gourd tastes bitter, sugarcane tastes sweet. When we come to realize this, that He is behind, will we develop distaste for certain things and will we prefer something? At the body level, the mental level, it may be there. But at the absolute level, when we know that everything, even if the first bitter gourd, the first sugar cane, when there is no sugar cane in the world, when there is no bitter gourd in the world, when there is no tamarind in the world, He is the uncast cause. So will we develop aversion or attraction? This is what Papa wants us all to do it. So while chanting Ram Nam, if this is, at least slowly when it percolates, I develop this love for all. I develop love for Him who is making me to chant, who is making me to feel that I am, who has given me this sense of individuality in this body-mind intellect complex, and who has also provided every object. Now, having come in contact with a spiritual preceptor, a guru, and steadfastly and earnestly, diligently when we follow his teachings, what is to be done? Developing love for him, which is called bhakti, and developing love for the entire creation. Parabhakti. This I should try from the tiniest in mind. I may not be able to have it in one go. Nothing is irrelevant, nothing is unimportant, nothing is insignificant. We slowly try to actualize it. We may fail, we may forget. Out of 100, we may at least be able to do it in one. Previously, when any sense objects which we like, when we come in contact with it, we get joy. When we come in contact with the sense object to which we have developed aversion, we don't get joy. So that is why our life has been now in a pendulum from likes and dislikes, likes and dislikes, likes and dislikes. Now we slowly understand. When we understand this, what is the form of our expression? Equanimity. Sthita prajna. Kindly think about it. These are all something he generates within us. If we don't bring this dimension while chanting, we have seen now that we chant, but everything is intact in us. The rights and wrongs and the likes and dislikes and priorities, preferences, they remain. They remain as such. So these are the areas where now we have to improve. And we have been assured by Papa that the real form of love will find its expression in us when once we are on this line, on this path, on this approach. So chanting should be accompanied by these. Papa insists that japa and smaran, they are integral. Remembering him and doing the japa. Japa and smaran are not considered to be two separate things. They must go on simultaneously. They do not go together in the earlier stages of the sadhana. So when we do japa, we must make our mind one-pointed either by concentrating on the sound of the name or on any form within or without. This is called dhyana. Dhyana can be on the saguna or nirguna aspect of God. To reach the nirguna aspect straight away in the beginning is very hard. Saguna dhyana is keeping the thought of any particular form of God. It may be the form of our Guru, of our Ishtadevata, whom worship by constant practice. We should make the form steady in our mind. We must bear in mind that the form stands for God, who is the all-pervading, all-comprehensive truth. So also when we chant the name, we must feel the name is of God, the Atman, the Infinite. By meditating on the form of God and chanting His name, we can gradually go beyond all names and forms and ultimately reach the Nirguna aspect. Then we realize that God is not only in one place, confined to one form, but that He is the all-pervading, and that by His power alone, all the worlds are moving. So japa and smaran must go together. Japa makes the mind steady, prepares it for dhyana. Through dhyana, we reach the state of samadhi where we realize our identity with God. In samadhi, the mind is perfectly still, without any sankalpas or vikalpas, without any desires or ideas. We realize that we are not the physical body, the senses, the mind, the intellect, but that we are the immortal absolute truth itself. Having gained this experience, we advance to the state of parabhakti, about which Ramdas has talked to you often. So, japa and smaran and dhyana. So by this we will be able to develop. Papa assures us. Initially when do the japa, we may not be able to remember all this. So a stage comes when we are asking ourselves, I have been doing japa. Why is it that I am not enjoying it? During my non-chanting time, what happens to me? All those things will come to us. My anxieties and my cravings and desires are so dominant, even during the japa it will penetrate, it will attack us. Suppose we are highly disturbed, and then when we go for the japa, it will take time for us. So we pray to Him, you made me to go through such an experience, please. And you make me to do the japa to remember you. Enable me to do so effectively. Because but for you I will not be able to chant the name. Because you are there, I am chanting the name. Though I have not experienced, I have the knowledge to know that. Now make it a reality. So today, Papa chose to bring these two ideas into our mind, giving us more and more clarity. First through Uddhava, and where, through Uddhava's words he gives importance that bhakti has got bhakti is the surest and the relatively easiest. It is not easiest, relatively. So here he says, nor yoga, nor philosophy, nor karma, nor Vedic study, nor austerity, nor renunciation has the power to attract me, as does intense bhakti. So from there he moved to this bhakti and parabhakti. Then he made us to think about the origin of our and the world life, how to develop this bhakti. So when I've been asked to recite the holy and all-powerful Ramnam, attend the bhajans with that bhavana, glorifying Him, and then start looking for people who are practicing even a little. The Mahatmas, why do we say Mahatma? Supreme, Atma is everywhere, the Mahatma. Atma is in all of us. But a Mahatma is the one who has got out of the sense of individuality, who is from the limited to the unlimited, finite to the infinite. He has crossed over. That is why he is called a Mahatma. And he is available to everybody. His love is given to everybody alike. His care and concern is given to everybody alike. He lives on a minimum, barest minimum things. So when we start observing the values in Him, slowly we develop love for Him. And that love will slowly, the more we think about it, then one day He tells us, when we develop sufficient love for Him, then only we will start hearing Him. Then we will try to go through His words. Then we try to understand, absorb what He says. And then we come to know that God gave me a human birth, which I was not at all aware. And along with that, because he is love, he also brought the love with me. But that love I gave to sense objects, treating it as others. If I had given the love to the sense objects, treating it as my own, then the problem would not have come. The otherness has come. So I am different from the sense objects. So I gave to some chosen ones and developed my likes and dislikes, all pairs of opposites. And then I keep on like a pendulum, I name certain things as positive, certain as negative, certain as favorable, certain as unfavorable. With the result that I lose the peace. So Papa now asks us to develop this love which has come with us, and then he also makes us aware that as an individual we exist because of his creation. I exist because of him, and I exist as an individual because of his creation. That point also, very important point also, today he brought it out. He gave me the human birth, and for the existence of that human birth as an individual, he provided his creation for me. Without knowing that, I developed a peculiar relationship with certain objects. Now he is reminding me that not only that this human birth was given to me by him and love, he also provided everything through his creation. So when I know, I develop love for his creation. This is the quintessence of today's gift of Papa to us. Is it clear to everybody?
Yes, Swami. Yes, Swami. Thank you, Swami. Very important, Swami.
Very important.
Very important.
Okay. Om Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Om Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Om. 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 Pranam, pranam, pranam. Namaskaram, namaskaram. Hari Om.